How is the sound for the people out there? Can you hear us okay? Is it clear and things? Okay. Are we in shot, Chef? So thank you for being so patient, everybody. You're a part of a live studio audience. There's something that feels really retro about this. But in a kind of cool way.
Oh, yeah, we've got to get like props falling over and everything in the background. Do you remember that?
Yeah. So we're just going to improvise this. We're just going to style it out. We're just going to style it out, and we realise actually, again, similarly to the feedback forms, maybe this is, you know, a way of us kind of really putting emphasis on this sort of like crowd participation thing, rather than having like an interviewer who's there asking the questions and then at the last minute they might have a gesture with a couple of people's hands going up or whatever. Maybe we can just chuck the ball in your court. So please, as we're speaking, please be thinking of any questions that you have about anything at all that we do. I'm just going to say a couple of quick bits and spark things off by saying, right then, so we're Praxis Probiotics. We're a cooperative and we specialise in fermented food and drinks. And we've been in existence for a couple of years now, about 3 years now, with significant support from my friend Gav over here, who's been supporting us in various different ways financially to help us get our feet off the ground. So I just want to give a shout out to Gav. Thank you very much for that, Gav. And because that's, you know, wouldn't be possible without Gav up to this stage. So, you know, we're in a position now where we're kind of like really excited about what it is we're going to do, and we're really going to try and make some significant things occur. So we've got the crew here, and we're going to chat about 2020, because we've got some big plans for 2020. So I don't know, do any of you guys want to say a couple of words about yourselves or anything like that?
Ladies first, did he? Would you go first? No, yeah, so if you don't meet, okay. My name's Matt. I'm part of the cooperative crew. I do various different tasks, various different jobs at the front of the scene, behind the scene. I'm a keen gardener. I'm a keen grower. But first and foremost, I'm a keen fermentalist. And I've got various tasks that I do in Praxis. So, yeah, that's me.
And Dee, what do you get up to? What do you do?
I get up to all sorts, me. Basically, I've just moved to Derby from Notts in September. I've been chefing for years and also been a crazy fermentalist for like the last 8 years or something. I had my own fermentation line called Probiotic Love, which I just make kombucha for now and sell it in Nottingham, because I've moved over here and joined these guys for Praxis. It's time that, you know, it's just about that really. Yeah, so my main skills that I bring are I grow a lot of stuff. I'm really keen on permaculture, and I'm obviously a chef, and I specialise specifically in plant-based vegan probiotic foods. Yeah, and my role in Praxis now, and with some of the plans that we've got coming up this year, is that we want to like really extend it out so that we can actually provide catering and stuff as part of Praxis as well. So we're not just doing, you know, the front kind of selling you our sauerkraut and our water cafes, but we're really starting to expand, which you can say a little bit more about maybe.
Okay, what do you want? Ask me a question.
Okay, what are you doing this year then, Simon, with Praxis?
All right then, so I think that things have been really timely. Like we've been moving it sort of like various different sort of paces over the last kind of couple of years. It started off with just myself 3 years ago, and then there was some disruption in all of our lives. It's been quite a journey for all of us. I think it's reasonable for me to say. We've been on a bit of a journey, a bit of a quest together, and we've arrived at this stage where I feel like we're in a place of, you know, where there's great potential, real great potential. We've been through a lot together. Matt came and joined the gang like in the last sort of year or so, thereabouts. You know what I mean? 2 years ago. And then, like Dena said, Dena moved from being a part of the crew and had been helping out and coming visiting us from Nottingham to Derby, mainly to make sort of fermented vegetables and sort of kind of. Yeah, largely to ferment for us, because obviously we met through, you know, this whole passion, this whole thing. It's about sort of like understanding probiotic food and drink, the role of beneficial bacteria and the need for us to kind of be cultivating the health of our guts when it comes to all health and all well-being. I mean, we engage with the science and the research which is coming out consistently with the Human Microbiome Project and everything that's going on. Gut health, for those of us that don't know, is at the absolute cutting edge of like health research. Increasingly, we're hearing the kind of like, it's almost like become mantra-like coming out of the field, all disease begins in the gut, all disease begins in the gut. All health like is rooted in the health of the gut. So if there's any kind of condition or disease or illness that we're trying to kind of actually try and improve, then starting with the gut is a very wise place to begin. So and my passion for this, as somebody who historically had been like a youth worker and like a community activist and an event organizer and that kind of thing, it came sadly as a result of both of my parents dying of cancer. And when you have that kind of experience, and as somebody who has a real thirst for knowledge, we've all got a very intense thirst for knowledge. We passionately self-educate ourselves about various different things. But the more that I was learning about cancer, the more that I was learning about the importance of probiotics and the importance of gut health, learning about the idea that, 70% of your immune system is located in the gut. There's few things that somebody might consume better for them if trying to boost their immune system than probiotic food and drinks. There's details to that claim and statement, but that's a reasonable thing to state. I have learnt, and obviously we run workshops in these sorts of things. So that's kind of like, so it started off with myself. We was doing the workshops, and then me and Matt we're working together, and then Dena's come from Nottingham, and we're in a situation where we all live in close proximity together. We're giving this our all. We're taking this on as a full-time work, and we've got a lot of exciting developments ahead of us. I was interested if maybe, before we kind of like open it up a little bit more, one of the things that's been really exciting, something that I never foresaw when I first started Praxis Probiotics, were certain things that Dena and Matt have both brought into the mix, things that require skills I simply do not have. And we are so much richer and can achieve so much more as a result of these things. One of those things, I mean, we're all passionate about, so we're passionate about holistic health, and a part of that is understanding that we are a part of the wider ecology. We are a part of the world around us. We are a species that is interdependent and interconnected, and we depend upon the natural environment for our own health and well-being. And we have like environmental issues at the fore as well. So when it comes to kind of like the kind of produce that we use and things like that, there's something important to be said about the relevance of not only organic food, but us growing our own. So would you tell us a little bit about where that fits in to what Praxis Probiotic plans for 2020?
Yeah, so I moved house a couple of years ago, and I sadly lost my beautiful garden. I've been a keen grower for 8 years. And the week that I lost that garden, Jonesy walks in and goes, "Matt, how'd you fancy an allotment?" And the irony is, Jonesy at this point didn't even know that I'd lost this garden. So it's like the universe just answered a wonderful question for me. I was like, right, okay. And then we sort of got chatting, we went down to see the plot, and we were like, right, okay, we've got the opportunity on our doorstep here to incorporate our homegrown ingredients into our produce. So we did a trial year, I guess it's fair to say. We were blessed with a wonderful allotment with lots of established fruits and trees already. So we had a wonderful, wonderful established area there. And we just ran with it for a year. And now we're into year 2 where we're going to expand on our growing. We're going to increase our growing. And it's really important. It's important for me, and I know it's important for both of these guys, that we can literally bounce down the road. I can pick the ingredients, I can go back to the house and can ferment it, and it's done within 20 minutes. If that's not saving food miles, I don't know what is.
Well said.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, these things are really important to us, and that's just one element of the growing part of Praxis.
And Dena, obviously you've got quite a bit of experience with things like permaculture and growing yourself as well. And obviously you guys have got, you've come from different backgrounds, and we've all arrived at this place together. And you were initially sort of invited to be a part of what we were doing because of your expertise with fermentation and being a fermentalist and fermenting vegetables and making sauerkraut and things like this. It just also happened that you've also been a very passionate and keen grower as well. So again, I'd put a similar thing to you. How do you feel about how that fits into 2020 plans?
I just think that it's really important that, particularly as we start this year, the state of the world and everything that's going on, that as many of us as possible can get some seeds and just chuck them somewhere and start growing some stuff. Even if you don't have a garden, you know, or a balcony or anything, you can do stuff in your house. You can grow your own herbs, you know, and just a few herbs will make a massive difference to your health and well-being, even if you're making yourself a pot of herbal tea, you know. And actually, the kind of like magic and the empowerment that you feel from getting a seed and watching it grow, and it grows into something that then you eat, and it's just like, you know, it's amazing. I'm sure, you know, there's quite a few people in this room that already do that stuff, but when it, you know, when you see people first do that stuff, it's like, wow, it's you know, and then you never go back once you've started growing stuff. But I mean, I've been doing it since I was a kid. Like, I grew up with my granddad on an allotment and stuff. So for me, it's really, really important. It's really important for kind of mental health and well-being as well. It's, you know, to be connected like that. But to be connected to your food is, for me, is so important. I can't, you know, I really struggle with, I never shop in the supermarkets and stuff like that on a level for food or anything like that, because I really struggle with the fact that where the hell has that come from, you know? And there's been lots of projects that I've been involved with in Nottingham, food growing projects, etc., with the communities, schools, universities, all sorts, to just encourage, you know, people to start getting reconnected with where is their food coming from. It's really important. So for me, with Praxis, it's dead exciting that we can actually like grow like loads of our own stuff for our own produce. I mean, last year with the first year that we had, the fact that we already had established fruit trees there was amazing for Matt's water kefir. But I'm now really excited that the ferments are going to be like, yeah, because we're just like getting the seeds now and just going, okay, what do we want? What are we gonna, you know, what are we gonna grow? So, yeah, it's fabulous that we can do that, and I think that it just makes a massive difference where we are now in this day and age, for us to be able to say as a small business as well that we grow this food and then we turn it into that, and then, you know, because it's medicine at the end of the day. I mean, your own grown food is medicine anyway, but turning it into something extra special is, yeah, it's a wonderful thing.
Before I invite a question from the crowd, do you want to say a couple of words about Chinese cabbage?
I've wanted to make kimchi for ages and couldn't, because I didn't want to use just white cabbage, because it don't feel like the thing for me. It's not like kimchi proper. So I've been a real snob about it and just been like, well, we couldn't find any Chinese cabbage anywhere ever, so I just won't go in there.
Well, we could, but it wasn't organic.
Yeah, it wasn't organic. We've ended up sourcing some, which is what that kimchi is now. But we're going to grow it, and it's easy to grow because it's like a lettuce, really. So, yeah, I'm really excited about that. I'm just going to be, on the Napa cabbage, yeah.
And like, what kind of developments have we got in terms of what's the contrast between the allotment now with regard to the plans that we've got and how it was, say, 6 months ago or something like that? We've got a few infrastructural changes and things.
Yeah. So obviously, when we took on the allotment, it didn't have a greenhouse. So we nailed that one straight away and put a greenhouse on there. Before I answer your question, just to go back, it was more about assessing it before we could make a plan. So I learned this year what condition the soil was in. Was it limey here? Was it too acidic there? So that was kind of like that bit before I answered the question. Sorry, mate. So now we know all that. We've now sort of put a map together how it's going to look visually, how we're going to grow, how we're going to rotate, and obviously we've increased our indoor growth. We've got a polytunnel, we've put a water system in place, nearly finished now. So yeah, we've got the capacity now to really expand our produce into our beautiful foods and drinks. So yeah.
Wicked. Respect. Any questions from the crowd at this stage? Don't be shy, don't be shy. Yes.
What are you most excited about growing this year then? Something new?
What am I most excited about growing? What I always like to grow, me personally, I'm a big tomato head and I'm a big chilli head. So, yeah, I get excited every year when them seeds come out. So that's my answer. What about you, Dee?
The cabbages.
The cabbages?
Chinese cabbages.
Is that it?
No, loads of different herbs and stuff, because I'm very heavily into herbal medicine anyway, so just being able to put more stuff in the ground, just have a bigger range of, pharmacy at hand.
Yeah, and one of my favourite ferments that we do seasonally is we do a fermented salsa. So I kind of get excited about that as well with the tomatoes. So salsas and chilies all the way for me.
And I think for myself, one thing that I feel like engaged with and I feel mindful of, I don't do as much growing as these guys. I'm in a situation where that's not really my thing, and I've got a lot to learn about that. And rather than I've been thinking about this a bit more recently. There's certain skills that I've got, certain strengths that I've got, certain experiences that I've had in the past, where in some people's views it's like, oh, well, it might make sense, so you just carry on doing that. And let these guys get on with those bits. But there's something really satisfying and fulfilling about working in a kind of like a cooperative or like a trio, or like a group of friends, where we all bring our own sort of like different superpowers to the mix, and we've got a lot we can learn from each other. And I know that that's something that will be so deeply fulfilling and nourishing and empowering for me to learn about from these guys. And the fact that I'm such good friends with them and we spend so much time together means that I've got like such a fantastic opportunity to do that. Of course, it's wonderful. I would encourage people to go and on permaculture courses, to go on, for example, at the allotment down at the West End Community Centre at the Ashbourne Road Allotment Association, they do wonderful sort of like Saturday morning kind of growing academy, things like that. And I think that, there's going to be such a huge importance that many of us just begin to engage increasingly with the importance of that process. And to have an opportunity to do that, and I think for me to find ways where we can kind of pull together more in our communities without having to be experts. We don't need to be experts, where we can just kind of like have a go at things, make mistakes at things, and keep trying and develop the confidence and, become more empowered through that process is really, really important. I'm also really excited. I know it's a bit of a side thing, but we're all involved in different things as well. And that's the thing about Praxis I want to put across. Again, I'm going to be inviting people to ask some questions about other things that we've got planned. We've got lots of events that we're excited about. And I know that we all care passionately about kind of like genuinely like radical social change and trying to create social change. We've all got obviously we're different people. We've got slightly different values, you know what I mean? But largely, I know that we want to try and improve society sort of significantly. So we kind of like proactively try and like partnership with people who share the same values. We're not gonna create a relationship with an organization who we deem to be significantly contravening the things that we hold dear. We're just not gonna enter into those sorts of arrangements at all. In fact, we're gonna proactively be seeking people that we believe to be either doing similar work or upholding similar values. And it's about trying to build a movement, in a sense. We're trying to be a part of, as a business, within a capitalist society, we are trying to work out how we can keep our principles and values at the absolute forefront of everything that we can do in a way that's positive and nourishing for other people, that's going to put food in our fridge, help us pay whatever bills we've got as well, do you know what I mean? And actually be a part of trying to contribute to some form of paradigm shift that we believe might be taking place at the moment. Do you know what I mean? We've got to transform the economy. We've got to transform society. We've got to change the way that we produce food. We've got to change the way that we do lots of things, like socialise, for example, or whatever it might be. Do you know what I mean? There's loads of different things, and we're kind of like having a bit of a humble crack at the whip of trying to kind of present whatever kind of relevant various alternatives into the mix that we can muster. I'm excited about subversive seeds. That's what I was meant to say. Sorry about the rant. Do you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, all right. I'm setting up as part of Thrive Derby, which is another community empowerment project that is kind of now spreading slowly through Derby, which was set up like a couple of years ago by Simon as just like a festival kind of thing in October. Happened again last year, and now it's growing into bigger things where we're trying to encourage members of people of Derby, members of different communities, to actually like create projects for themselves get happenings going, have events going on, whatever, to do with the concept of thriving. That's a whole other thing altogether. You can go online and have a look at Thrive Derby and check that out. But as part of that, I'm personally doing a thing called Subversive Seeds, which is a group that I'm getting together, and we're having the first meeting on the 10th of February at Boyer Street Community Centre. Everybody's welcome. 6:30, and it's just basically the first meeting to kind of bash out some ideas that I've got about some guerrilla gardening that I want to do around Derby city centre, because there's plenty of places that are just like green bits, bare random green bits that have got nothing going on, and I want to like reseed it up, get some wildflowers in there, get some edible plants in there, and start just having these little bits and bobs going on around the city, really. So that first meeting is for people, like-minded people who want to get involved with that, to come together, and we'll all hatch some ideas. So please call me if you're interested.
Thank you very much. Is there any other questions that we might be able to take from the audience about anything at all?
Anything at all?
Yeah, why not, Dave?
Okay. It's not for you. It's not actually for Matt. So that leaves Dena.
Okay.
It's not going to be too hard, Dena, but it's basically, as you know, I work in Nottingham, and I know you have a very, very strong connection to Nottingham. What I'm interested in is what Derby can learn from Nottingham, positives and negatives, and what Nottingham can learn from Derby. Your reflections, in a sense, on the activism and the communities that you're involved in, because they are very different cities, you know, really different cities, not just size-wise, but culturally and all kinds of things. Mm-hmm. And you've been here like, whatever, 7-8 months now. So it'd be interesting to hear what your thoughts are on the two cities and what we can do.
I'm not sure what you can do, Dave. Good question. Yeah. Okay. Interesting, because I was thinking about this the other day. Yeah, I've been involved with projects in Nottingham for forever, you know, and particularly to do with community and growing specifically, or food projects. Obviously Derby's a lot smaller than Nottingham, right? So there's different kind of levels of stuff going on. But what I would say off the top of my head, just straight up, would be that, and this is probably why I've moved here, okay, as well as coming to join the Praxis team full on, is that I just had a greater sense of community being connected together in Derby, and that people mobilise much better between themselves without having like overlooking governing bodies bringing them into that state of being to do that, yeah? And people actually are organising themselves much better than in Nottingham. So Nottingham feels a lot more kind of like discordant and disconnected in its pockets of stuff that it does have going on. And I don't know whether that's like because of the size so much, but I don't think it is. I think it's because people don't connect up together as much and as intensively as they do here in Derby. And it seems that, you know, people know from one group here to another group there, they know kind of like what's going on generally between the groups, and all the different kind of like, the networks seem to be better connected with different projects that are happening and different things that are happening in the community and whatever, whether that's with, you know, the growing the food, the activism stuff, anything. It just seems better connected in that way. And also Nottingham's got a lot more, just more snobbery attached to it. Like people a bit more, you know, up their own ways. And there's a bit, you know, it's a bit more cliquey in those ways. Nottingham does have some powerful kind of like strong work going on in affiliation with its council, Nottingham Council, so the different groups seem to me to have stronger connections with what the council, you know, the persuading the council or having a better kind of like sway of what happens with what the council's going to do with their money or whatever. Whereas I haven't seen that yet in Derby, I'm not aware of that, but that's because I think I'm just still really on the ground, and I prefer to be like not connected to funding bodies, etc. Anyway, I'd rather personally, I'd rather be like, you know, personally on the ground, acting from that space. Really, does that answer your question? Thank you.
Can we take any more questions, please, about anything at all? Yes, brother.
So obviously you're very into getting the community involved, which is absolutely brilliant. All the Praxis stuff is absolutely phenomenal, the fermented food, the kombucha, all that sort of stuff. Is there any way that it's going to grow in the next few years, and you know, other than just fermented foods, but is there going to be any further sort of wholesome, holistic, good food, gut food that is going to be coming out in 2020, 2021?
That's a fantastic question, Geordie Baines.
Yes, and yes. I think for all three of us, it's a learning journey where we've started to where we're at now, and along that journey, we've added different strands, and some of the strands we're adding for this year are food events. Obviously, we've got the wonderful. By the way, Dena's an award-winning chef. Did you know that? She's an award-winning chef. Obviously, that's another string to the bow, and obviously what Dena brings are excellent, you know, not just creative culinary skills, but the love and the care. Because I always think food tastes better if there's a lot of love goes into it, and your food definitely has a lot of love in it. So with that, you know, we're going to be able to put on things like this, you know, the burger with the Booch Bash. We're also going to be looking at launching a delivery system where we can do deliveries, wholesome foods to your door. We've got retreats, which will retreats that will accompany food. So yeah, we're just expanding all the way, man. Yes, I hope that answers your question. Do you want to answer that, Dee?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the whole point of what we're doing in 2020, and the reason why we've got this going on tonight, and like giving this a try, you know, bashing it out, was like we just came up with the ideas and was just like, how are we going to bring this to people further than just like us stocking it in certain places and doing, you know, market stalls or little festivals and things like this. So we went on a big mission to kind of like look at, you know, what we could do and what skills we've got between us and how that could manifest as further things, bigger things, greater things, where our stuff is going to be reaching more people, as many people as possible, because obviously, as Sam was saying before, this isn't just about us going, here, have some kombucha and have some sauerkraut, and this is really good for your guts. This is like the holistic, bigger picture of everything, you know, joining people together in social environments that are different, you know, that are fresher and newer than, and just in different ways than what we're used to doing, and seeing if the, you know, people want to step out into those new territories in that way, because it seems that we've hit a wall and we're really stuck where we are in our societies now. So people are either really disconnected and going on some like lonesome, lonely journeys where they're not, you know, don't get out their own four walls or whatever, or, you know, the only way that we do think that we can go and socialise is get our asses down the pub and get wrecked, you know. So we need different ways that we can like come together. So this is all part of, you know, these thoughts of like, how, you know, why we're doing stuff like this and giving it a go. So like Matt said, it's like we've got this stuff going on. This Booch and Burger Bash is actually, I'm going to be doing it second Friday of every month. But anything that we raise from these events, money-wise, will go into a free community meal that we'll be doing on the last Mondays of every month at Boyer Street Community Centre. So, you know, one thing feeds into another, into another, into another, into another, and it's just like, yeah, that's kind of how it's going with everything that we've got planned, isn't it, really?
Yeah. But we are going to wrap up this piece now, yeah? So please, is there any last sort of like questions that anybody would like to ask? Yes, Andy.
This probably broadens it out a little bit, but I know it's not gardeners' question time, but the gardeners on the panel. I love the earth and the soil and growing. I'm wondering what you think of aquaponic systems, which I'm very into, and I think it's a very good method. Personally, I think it's it opens up a lot of possibilities for future growing.
And our soil's absolutely twatted.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because it doesn't have obviously quite the same sort of community involvement that you would have, say, if you're running a community allotment, just planting in the soil. But anyway, it'd be interesting to hear your thoughts on it.
Well, aren't you going to come down to Boyer Street, Andy? Didn't you say that you was going to come down to Boyer Street and help us set up a system?
It's the 10th, isn't it?
So there we go, man. That's community antics right there with those styles. But I'll let you speak about these things because I know nothing about them.
I've only sort of read into it slightly. It's not a big topic that I'm aware of, so I don't want to speak about something that I have no knowledge on. It is on my to-do list to sort of learn about it because I've seen it done. I know somebody who does it as well, but I've got no experience with it personal. But I'm definitely keen to learn.
I think any systems that we can get in place for growing, however they, whatever they are really important. And I hope that you can come and join the group. Even if you can't get down on the 10th, come down one of the days, because obviously your system that you've built and tried out recently, which I know about, we need to see it, and you need to show other people so that they can learn how to do it as well. Because it's just another arm, isn't it, of being able to grow. So, yeah, it's important, I think. Thanks.
Cool. All right then, my friends. I am mindful of time. I'm mindful of any other plans that people might have for the rest of the evening. I just want to very quick...
Sorry, can I just quickly... I don't know whether you were about to say this or not, but I just wanted to really quickly say about... We've got a festival. Was you going to say about that? We've got a festival, and it's only just reminded me because Andy's sat there. There's a place in Derby in Melbourne called Whistlewood Common, which is an incredible bit of land that Andy's a member of. Lots of people come together, haven't they, and taken on this land, and it used to be an old cabbage field, and now it's like an amazing place with a big roundhouse and a yurt and all sorts, orchards, all sorts, beautiful bit of land. We're holding a festival there in June the 6th, overnight into June the 7th, so a camp out, basically. But it'll be a 2-day thing where we'll have talks, workshops, all kinds of educational bits and bobs going on the Saturday. Some lovely cafe. Well, me and Lise from Vegan Revelation will be running a cafe through the day. There'll be a big campfire at night, music, stuff like that. And on the Sunday, there'll be lots of lovely health and well-being bits and bobs, workshops, and all that kind of business going on. So, yeah, I'm just really excited about that.
Please feel free to visit the website, which is praxisprobiotics.com. That had a little bit of an update today, just to accommodate the tickets that I'm sure many of you are going to be eager to be purchasing for the workshops that we've got lined up. So if you are interested in finding out a little bit more about our workshops, there's some flyers on the table. So another thing that we're going to be doing more of is workshops. We've got loads of different styles of workshops. We've got some relevant expertise in various different areas. So we run gut health and nutrition workshops for anybody that's interested in learning more about the details and the importance and the intricacies of gut health and how you can boost your gut health to help treat and improve any conditions that you might be experiencing or anybody that you know that might benefit from that. So that's myself and my dear friend Lucy Kay, who's a nutritional therapist, who run that. And then we're excited that the Sunday after that, so we're looking about Saturday the 8th of Feb, that's the gut health and nutrition. And then the weekend after that, on the Sunday here, we've got the fermentation stations workshops where you'll be learning all 3 things that we make when it comes to fermented food and drink. So Matt's going to be teaching people how to make water kefir. I'll be teaching people how to make fermented vegetables. And Dena's going to be teaching people how to make kombucha. We've got loads more that we could talk about regarding the year ahead. We're going to wrap it up, but we've got retreats coming. We're going to be running 3 retreats that are holistic health retreats. We've got various different social eating events that are coming up. There's going to be some Praxis masterclasses. There's going to be some cookery classes. There's going to be online tutorials. There's going to be various digital content. And we're excited about partnering up with various people. There's people in this room right now, and I don't want to start trying to name names because I'll miss somebody and it'll be awful. But thank you to those of you that are in this room that we've worked with in the past and we're going to be working more with in the future. There's a lot going down. Anything you'd like to add, guys?
I just want to say thanks to everybody for coming. More than anything, it's wonderful to see so many faces that I don't know. That's the really good thing, and it's wonderful that, you know, people are taking an interest and inspiring to, you know, gain knowledge on gut health, because it's critical, it's important. In this day and age, it is absolutely crucial that everyone understands what this is about. So thanks again for coming and listening to Jonesy.
Yeah, I just want to second that. Thank you so much for coming and, yeah, taking your time out of your Friday night and having some food and listening to us witter at you from the stage.
Cool. Are we going to have Joe Bates is going to perform for us? Is that correct? Yeah. All right then. So you know, we're going to be kind of like wrapping up, and we're going to be kind of tidying away and things like that. Thank you. We really value your feedback. Hats off to everybody that's helped make this possible. For Geordie Baines performing as people were arriving, for Kev Andrews that was, you know, performing after Din Dins, and then now my man Joe Bates has snuck in, and it's great to see him, and he's going to perform as people are leaving. Please check out what we've got for sale. So we've got some water keffirs, we've got some kimchi, we've got some kombucha, we've got some crabs. And thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.